I want to educate you on you. I want to empower you in times of adversity, and I want to equip you to heal yourself because you can. Welcome to season 1 of my podcast, Unshrinkable. Hi, I'm Emily Katz. My guest and I are here to help you find what works for you beyond traditional therapy and mainstream meds. Hello, everybody. I am super excited to introduce our lovely guest today, Jennifer Nataf. Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing so well, thank you.
Yay. Okay, Jennifer is a personal stylist and style coach who helps women elevate their style and celebrates their unique expressions of personal style. Jennifer isn't just about clothes, she's about transformation and confidence. So, clients describe Jennifer as the perfect blend of firm guidance and genuine support. She helps women with overflowing closets but nothing to wear. I know that one well. Guiding them to discover what truly suits them and what they need to buy. So, clients say that working with Jennifer feels like collaborating with a good friend who genuinely cares. From closet edits to personal shopping, her clients leave feeling empowered and authentically themselves. That's what we're all after. So today we'll be diving into the fascinating world of different style personalities and how your personality traits are connected to your style. So Jennifer will break it all down for us and explain how knowing your style personality can help you avoid shopping traps and stay true to yourself. So get comfy and join us for a chat with Jennifer about all things style, confidence, and feeling fabulous every day. Let's dig in. I cannot wait. Jennifer, please, can you start with introducing yourself? Tell us a bit about who you are and more specifically how you got here doing this work.
Sure. Well, thanks for the great intro. My name is Jennifer. I am 47 years old. I was born in Montreal, Canada, and when I was 15, I moved to Israel. And so we're talking 1992 and pre-internet, which means that if the style made it to Israel, it was about half a year later. And so I came here age 15 with all of my clothes from North America that were like all the trendy teen stuff. And I was made fun of for wearing all this stuff that was just so normal in North America. And my friends made fun of me for having, wearing a bucket hat that, kova tembel. It's, yeah. So that was something that really affected me. I stopped wearing the clothes that I was made fun of for wearing, and I just really wanted to fit in. And so I started to wear the clothes that everybody else here in Israel was wearing, whether they suited me or not. You're a teenager, you just want to fit in. And there was something else that happened while I was a teenager, which was that I'd started to gain weight. So my weight fluctuated a lot, and that was something that impacted me so much. It impacted my confidence. It impacted whether I could find clothes or not. And so when I would gain weight, it felt terrible. I would not want to go places. I would not find clothes. And then when I lost weight, I would be happy. I found clothes, found stuff I loved, would go places. And so throughout your life, you grow, you mature, you change, you go through different, university, find a job, your phase. And so I would, I loved clothes and experimenting with clothes and shopping. And so I would, periodically reinvent my style. And it really took me getting to my 30s where I decided I would dress for myself and that I would not care what other people thought of me. If somebody would make fun of me for wearing a hat or for whatever. I mean, Israel is such a casual culture for the most part. For the most part, people want to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to stand out. People don't want to be looked at in the street for wearing a style that's different. Really talking as a general rule, Israeli culture. And I decided that I didn't care if I stood out a little bit. I would dress in a way that made me happy. I would dress in a way that communicated what I wanted to communicate about myself. If I wanted to be a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more dressed up than the rest of the casual society around me, I would do that. And it took me like 2 decades to get to that place, but I'm there. I love my style. I feel good about my style. It's still obviously my style still changes over time, and periodically need to like tune it again and see what I love and see what I've had enough of and can pass on to somebody else. And this is something that I can really help my clients with, because so my clients are mostly in Israel, and most of them have that issue where they're concerned, like, what are people going to say? I wear this, but like, is this too much? What are people going to say? That's most of my clients, not all of them. Some of them are more dramatic. If we're going to talk about the style personalities, they're more dramatic and they want all eyes on them, and they're totally fine standing out. But I do, for the most part, I help my clients find that confidence in just dressing for themselves.
I love that. I remember as well when I moved to Israel, and I was always in heels and full makeup and designer handbags and bling and la 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 coming from Europe. And I remember I had my first like Israeli best friend. We were in the army and we were getting ready to go out, and I was wearing like little tight skirt and high heels. She was like, "You're not going out like that. We're going to like one of those outdoor parties in the north somewhere. You're going to kibbutz somewhere." She's like, "You can't wear that. You can't wear heels and a little dress. Like, no, get changed. You're wearing flip-flops and something and shorts." And I was just like, "What?" Like it was a culture shock, right? But I totally understand though as well how something that, we don't really think about it, but when we do move to a different country or to a different, we want to fit in, and that's built in, right? Like we have a built-in mechanism to want to belong, like the tribal kind of mechanisms. But yeah, I think this idea of being able to own and self-express. I think it is so, so important. And it is something that I really have found across the board with my clients, is that the self-expression piece is really neglected. Like very, very neglected. So like, we're focusing on the sleep hygiene and the eating and the nutrition and the exercise and the mental health, a lot of focus on the mental health. But then like one of the pieces that I call it the big five. So it's nutrition, movement, emotional support, and self-expression, creativity, play. That one is always the lowest. Like nearly always across the board, it's the lowest. And so I really feel that what you do is so important for people to really find the right way for them to express themselves. And through style and fashion is one of the easiest ways I think that we can do that, right? It's like what we put on ourselves every day. So please continue.
Do you know what? Just with you having said that, I think that self-expression does come after you've got all those other things in place.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually had some clients come to me who had gone through terrible, terrible, terrible abuse in their past. And they'd been through this process of healing. And for them, coming to me was kind of that final step of their process. Of course, we continue to go through life. We continue to be hurt. We continue to need to get over things and deal with stuff and everything. But once they had been through that majority of that healing, they felt that the next step for them is to be able to show themselves to the world and to wear clothes that made them feel good about themselves, instead of just like whatever, just putting on whatever.
So, but by the way, like that makes complete sense if the like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? We're going to fulfill first the security needs, the physical needs, the emotional needs, the this needs, that. And then when you get to the top bit, like, okay, we got all that covered. Now it's self-actualization. Now it's like, boom, being who you were meant to be. It's like, okay, we've got all of that covered. But it's like those things kind of need to come first, right? Like we need to make sure that we're feeling safe, that we're feeling seen, that we're feeling this is it. And then we can, okay, now I'm here, bring it on, and it totally makes sense.
Yeah, I think that if it's maybe you can experiment with this. If you incorporate it a little bit earlier, what would happen then? People, I don't know, might it help them to feel better about themselves earlier on? If they're in that place, where they can.
100%. But it was very interesting for me as well, is that when I started very much deep diving into like my self-healing, I just stripped myself bare. I took everything away. I took off all of the diamonds, all of the jewelry, all of the this, like you know, got rid of all the design. Like I got rid of just everything, and I was like tabula rasa. I was just like fresh start, like clean slate. Who the fuck am I? You know, and like it was literally, I was expressing myself externally in that way in my appearance as, you know, I just wanted to feel comfortable. I'm just wearing my tracksuits. I'm just wearing my pajamas. I really needed a clean slate. And for the good, like 5 years or so, 5, 6 years, I went into like this little hermit phase and I just took everything just clean, you know, and then let's rebuild. And it was very much like a outward expression of what was going on inside, I think. And then now in the last year or two, I've been like, okay, let's have fun. Let's express. Who am I now on the outside in this way? Like what? And I've started wearing jewelry and I started doing makeup again and like playing around with what is my style, right?
Do you feel that you found it?
Yes, I'm getting there. And what you told me in our pre-interview, which you will be sharing about today, personality styles, was actually very helpful as well. With like, it was reaffirming in a way. I do very much feel that it is, I think, getting to know who you are, knowing your values, knowing what you care about, knowing what you actually really like, you know, because a lot of the times, even if you're like me, recovering people pleaser and, you know, very much taught growing up to self-abandon that as well, you know, so it's like coming back to yourself, reconnecting to like this ring. This, for example, it's a very big ring, mood ring for those just listening in. It's my sister's from when she was like 10, and I always wanted it when I was a little girl. And I found it in my jewelry box, and I was like, oh, I get to wear that now. And for me, like for now, where I'm at, it excites me, it makes me happy. And I get like my kids love it because it changes color all the time. They're like, oh, it's blue, oh, it's green, you know. But
It's a
that for
small
me,
thing that makes you happy.
yeah, and that for me means more than like an expensive piece of jewelry, like for now where I'm at, right? And so I just, yeah, I really feel that getting to know yourself and your values and what you kind of care about and what you like is very important as well, as because then you get to put that like out there.
Yeah. So what we spoke about earlier was the style personalities in the
Mhm.
pre-interview. And that is, I feel like it was the missing piece when I was in an admin job and I had a crisis there. And that was what led me to pursuing my dream of being a personal stylist, which was something that I said, okay, like when I retire, I will become a personal stylist. One day I will become a personal stylist. And I decided, just following a crisis in my admin job, I decided to pursue that. And that was about 5 years ago. And I knew I could make people look good. I knew it, but I didn't know how to make them look like them. I knew I could dress them up in my style. I knew that I knew they'd look good. I knew that they'd look put together. I knew that they'd look elegant, but how did I make them look like them? And that was my concern before I studied styling. And when I studied styling, I learned about different style personalities. This is a style philosophy. It's not a science, but it has enough guidelines to help me help my clients, to help me know about my clients. And so based on the style philosophy, and there are different people who take this in different ways, and there's all sorts of different style philosophies, and you might have heard of Kibbe, or you might have heard of, there are all sorts of different style philosophies out there, but this is the one that I loved and that I find the most helpful. And so according to this, there are 6 different style personalities. We have the classic, we have the natural, we have the creative, we have the romantic, we have the dramatic, and we have the aristocratic.
Hold on,
And
classic. I'm writing this down. Classic, natural,
natural, creative, dramatic, and aristocratic.
dramatic, aristocratic. Okay.
So usually when stylists talk about this, it'll be an overall look. It'll be an overall look, somebody who looks classic and is wearing pearls and is wearing a pinstripe suit or whatever, somebody who looks more natural. Yeah, definitely. Somebody who is more romantic and wearing florals and red lipstick and bling and high-heeled shoes. And I'll get into them more, but just to say that usually when stylists talk about this, they don't actually include the personality traits. And that was something that was so special about what I studied, because the woman that I studied under actually did incorporate personality traits into this. So I'll tell you a little bit about the personality. When you can say, and again, philosophy, not science, when you can say, oh, I'm more classic based on these traits and based on what the classics tend to go for, or I'm more romantic, or I'm dramatic. And when you know these things, you can stop wasting time trying on things in stores that are not your style personality. I am very classic. And when I would waste time in stores trying on things because I didn't really know. I should not even be looking at these things. I would try on shoes that were more the natural style or the more creative style, and I didn't like them, but I was looking for something comfortable. To this day, it's hard for me to find comfortable shoes. So I would waste so much time just like trying on, and I was like, but they're so ugly. They're comfortable, but I can't wear them. So this is something, and let me just jump into it. So talking about, I'll start with the classic. A classic style personality is somebody who loves order and who is very organized, who works well within structure, who probably did quite well in school, safety and security. So the classic style personality is somebody who might work in an office, might work as an organizer, will do something that is very conforming and is like maybe a very safe person. And so their ideal home will be a home within shouting distance of neighbors in case they need anything, or, in case of danger. They will research the safest car. They appreciate cleanliness. So if they have animals, chances are it's going to be something that's kept in a cage, or a cat who, tends to be clean. And if they go on vacation, it will tend to be in a place where like they can make sure that they're able to do their makeup every day. And it'll be a resort more like, or something.
Not camping.
Not camping. Camping is very natural, and that's typically not the classic. So I will go camping if it's for a really good reason. A really good reason, I'll go camping. But it's not something I will be drawn to. And so then the classic style is, whatever you think of when you think classic, you think more like structured suits, you think pearls, you think pinstripe, houndstooth, pencil skirts, office attire, jeans, but then with like a button-down shirt, structured bag. Maybe somebody who's drawn to high-end luxury, high-end brands, appreciates quality. And so when you know that you're a classic, you know that you don't allow yourself to be drawn into the other things that are like not you, because you're going to buy them. I have bought stuff that is more creative and flowy and bohemian, and it's like I'll wear it because I bought it, and then it's like I can't do this. It's not me. And so yeah, classic will be more body conscious perhaps, or not necessarily tight and showy, but just more structured and not flowy for the most part. And so then again, it'll be pearls, it'll be diamonds, it'll be Tiffany's and Cartier, golds and solids, nothing too out there, nothing too crazy. The patterns will be more classic patterns and not something abstract and wild, and maybe they'll do a subtle animal prints. So that's classic. And I think when I just from knowing this, from seeing my clients, from looking around the world, I think that the majority of people fall into these four categories that I mentioned first. So classic, natural, creative, and romantic. And then there are two other categories that I think are much, much, much more rare. So the classic I mentioned, the natural style personality loves people, loves animals, loves nature and the earth and environment. And they also have a very strong artistic side. So these are people who will tend to have a job that is either with people, helping people, animals, the planet, and then a hobby doing something creative, or vice versa. They will have a job doing something that's creative, like pottery making, music, I don't know what, and then maybe they'll have a hobby that is volunteering with some organization that will save the planet or the animals or people. And then these are people who want to be out in nature. These are the people who are camping. These are the people who, like, their ideal home is a cabin out in the woods and will go sleep under the stars. And I'm just thinking like dirt and twigs and like or sand and bugs. And so the natural personality is also somebody who loves variety. They tend to be adventurous. You open up their fridge and maybe they've like all sorts of interesting things that they have cooked, and maybe they won't do the same thing twice. It'll always be something new and exciting. And so style-wise, these are people who value comfort above everything. They need to be comfortable. I mean, I, as a classic, if I think I look good, I will be comfortable. If I think I look bad, I will not be comfortable. It's not, I'm willing to like suffer, aside from shoes, I'm willing to suffer. To the natural style personality is not willing to suffer. They want to be comfortable. That is their highest priority. And so they also prefer natural fibers and natural fibers, natural fabrics, natural colors for the most part. So like creams and neutrals and blues and greens, whatever's found in, they tend to like, so fabrics and what is it like when there's like a texture. Mm-hmm. Like your sweater right there is very textured. It's a chunky knit. The natural loves texture in all different ways of
I've got loads of fluffy ones as well. Cardigans, like the soft, like literally, I think it's actually loungewear, pajama, like it's not like loungewear, and I wear it all the time. Like I got them in 3 colors because they're so soft. I'm just like, I don't care. I'm wearing this. It's like a robe, and I just wear it.
There you go. It's comfortable and
it's so comfortable.
So if they'll do a pattern, it tends to be stripes, like marine stripes or just regular stripes. Gingham is a very natural pattern. They'll do woven stuff, bags that are woven. And something that is very particular to the naturals is that when they look for stuff, for jewelry, for accessories, they also want it to be something that is very unique and something that has meaning. So if you're thinking like the classic will want something that is perfect, and Tiffany's, and like there's millions of people have those same items. The natural will want something that's a little bit funky, maybe not something that's not perfect. It's got imperfections. It's like if it's a ring, it'll be something very like not a perfectly round ring, but something that is more interesting. If they choose a diamond, it could be a diamond that's uncut, if they choose to buy something or to wear something, it could be like from an African woman who has done something super creative with these tabs
from the market, because it's handmade in India and they bring it over and whatever. Sorry, go on. Exactly. I just showed my ring that was uncut.
And it is unique, and there's a story behind it, and you bought it and you supported whoever that person, not this big corporation, but that person who made it. And there are all sorts of things that I look at and I see somebody carrying a bag that is very, very unique, and it's made of all different bits and pieces. And I know that they're natural or they're creative, but maybe you found a seashell on your honeymoon, and that was such a beautiful seashell, you decided to put it on a chain and wear it around your wrist or your neck, And so when you know this, you know that you don't want that perfect, you know what you're drawn to, and go for it. And one of the things too that's really interesting about the natural style personality is that they tend to be the most casually dressed person anywhere, in any room. And again, it's comfort. They're scared. The natural style personalities typically, and I know this, like I've seen this with my clients, they're scared of looking overdressed. They're always asking me like, is this too much? And I'm like, no, it's not too much. It will never be too much. It's not too much. And so like they tend to be underdressed. It doesn't matter, like going to an event, they tend to be underdressed. If they're wearing heels, they will be comfortable heels, and they will be short heels or like a platform heel. And they also tend not to wear makeup. Now, you could also be a mix of more than one style personality, but you'll tend to have this one style personality that is your core, and then maybe a little bit more of the...
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, I did put lipstick on for you because I knew that you would appreciate the matching lippy and nails and the more classic. And I was like, I'm gonna get a bit dressed up for Jennifer today. I felt like it. I never like usually do that. And I was like, I don't feel comfortable for Jennifer. I want to get changed. And I got changed. And it was like, because literally thinking about this like episode and like talk and what we are going to talk about, I was like, hold on, am I even dressed as me? And I was like, no, this is more me. And I went and I got changed.
I love that. I
I
love that.
got changed. And I do feel more me now. You know, I was just wearing kind of like pajamas. And I was like, I cannot do a style episode in my pajamas with Jennifer the classic. I'm not going
Really
to do
can't.
this. No, so I went and I got into my natural vibe, but with a bit of makeup.
You look great. You look great.
Thank
You look
you.
very you. If I had to pick something out for you, like I would pick out a chunky knit sweater, 100%. And again, it's like this like sandy, beachy, off-white cream color. Yeah, I love it. Okay.
Creative.
Creative. All right, the creative style personality. The creative person is somebody who is incredibly creative, is an artist, one way or another. If it's a musician, if it's a singer, if it's an actual artist who creates art. I don't think that there aren't as many people like this in the world as there are classics, naturals, and romantics, but the creative, there's still quite a few. And these are people who create, and they create such beautiful things that it's kind of hard to believe that this is a human being who created this. So if you hear somebody singing so beautifully, or you see something such incredible art, and you think, how did a person make this? They have that gift. I don't know how they did it, but they're creatives and they did it. They've got this incredible gift. And these are people who they are so outside of the box that there is no box that can hold them. They think outside of the box. They're completely unconforming. They don't want to conform. They cannot conform. So I would never even want to attempt to try to style this person unless they had a very definite goal of looking a certain way, and then I can help them sort of rein in their style in a way that will be just a little bit more perhaps aesthetically pleasing. But generally speaking, the creative style personality is somebody who just will put together things. They will put patterns, they will put fabrics, they will put flowy things and stuff upon stuff and beads and just everything. Just like throw it all together and somehow it looks amazing. Somehow it looks
Really admire those people, by the way. Like I see the creatives and I'm just like, holy shit, I wish I had the balls. I wish I had the balls and the vision, right? Like they have this vision and they make it work somehow. I don't know how they pull it off, or even if they don't, it doesn't matter. I still admire it. I still admire the like the confidence,
it's so inherently them.
the
You
authenticity.
exactly the authenticity. It resonates with them. You can't fake this. You have to have it in you. So these are people who also need that space to dream. They need to go off and be alone. They need to go off and be alone and dream and create. And these are people who also they tend not to be organized. They thrive in mess. Like you might open their fridge and find stuff from and I'm not talking about like condiments that are good for a long time, but like stuff that's there, but been there for months or years or whatever. Really, these are people who thrive in balagan and mess, and everything is just all over the place, but they also can find stuff in their mess. And so these will be people who style wise, they will bring in color and pattern and all sorts of things, that they will take stuff that are not actually clothes and not actually accessories and just like wrap it around themselves and suddenly it's an outfit. There's a guy who photographs people primarily in New York, and he started photographing people who are older. I think like maybe start off with 60s, 70s, 80s. And he photographs these people, and a lot of these people are super creative. Let me look this up.
Look it up.
He's a great reference.
You also like to photograph people with their style out on the streets. When you see someone with good style, you take a picture, and I love it. You've got what's the name of your Instagram page for that one?
At JRS. I love to photograph people who are authentically them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I absolutely love. So all styles, if it looks like there's no there's no right and there's no wrong. There's balanced, there's aesthetically pleasing. But when somebody is so just authentically them and they've put thought into it, and it's the accessories, it's everything. It's not just, I love that. So the guy
Is
that I
this
was
guy Ari Cohen?
Yes, he is. Ari Seth Cohen. He goes on everywhere. He's advanced style. And I think he wrote a book called Advanced Style. And so he photographs people that are just so out there. And it's beautiful. They are artists. It's just so beautiful how they put stuff together.
I'm definitely going to be looking at his stuff. It's very cool. I love seeing those people. I also find that maybe sometimes later in life, that's when you kind of stop giving a shit
My
and
goodness,
you just start owning who you are because you realize like, this is it, like this is just be who you were meant to be and be who you are and just embrace it. And I feel that maybe in late, like as we go, that's what I feel like when I see young people really owning their shit. I'm like, wow, like that is so awesome to see. Really, like, I mean, Billie Eilish, for example, is someone that I admire because she was in her teens wearing big baggy boy clothes, and although I thought it was not necessarily aesthetically pleasing, I was like, she's so cool, she's authentic, she's being her. And in like the public eye, like, being the huge like pop star that she is, and now look, like Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all the designers are making clothes for her that are just literally like tablecloths. It's like a tent, but she's owning it, she's doing her thing, and I love that. I love seeing that.
Yeah, I think it's an example. As a teenager, I can only think how hard that was for her to do, because she would have been told, do this, do that, and everybody else is doing something different, but she was really authentically her. And her
I wonder whether internet, by the way, helped with that in a way, right? Because I remember when you were saying like there was no internet and stuff when you were getting shit from the kids around you, right? But I mean, like, I think social media actually can be good in some ways, meaning you can be inspired. You can, and it depends on who you are and what you learn, right? But I think that, I don't know, I cut you off. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. Your insights are, I love your insights. Yeah. So unless a creative person had a particular goal, I would not want to style them, because I would not want
their own thing.
They've got their own thing going. But if they told me, well, I have to, they had a particular goal, they're starting to work in a certain environment or whatever, where it was just a little bit more important than to conform just a little bit more, then I could help them with that. But otherwise, I would not want to rein in their creativity. Yeah. Okay, the romantic. So the romantic style personality, think Marilyn Monroe is somebody who is very sensual, loves everything to do with all the senses. So smell and touch and taste and feel and hearing. And so they might have a job where they are a makeup artist or a masseuse, or in the hospitality industry, maybe they'll have a hotel or run a hotel or work in a restaurant. They will do something that is connected to something sensual, because it's something that gives them pleasure, and they want to share that pleasure with other people, and they want to help other people feel as good as they feel in all of these things. And so a person like this should be in a job like that. They should not be in an office job that they might find, soul sucking. They should be following something that really gives them pleasure and helps them share that with others. And so they also would enjoy being at home and soaking in a bath and putting on creams and taking all this self-care time for themselves. And it's something that they enjoy indulging in and sharing that with others. So their home might be all chandeliers, including in the bathroom, and, clawfoot bathtub, and their bed will be like, covered in pillows, and just their whole environment. They will make sure that their environment is luxurious and beautiful and sensual and makes them happy, because that's important to them. And so
I think I'm a natural romantic.
Entirely possible. That would not surprise me at all.
When we moved in, the house had chandeliers, and I was just like, I did not ask for chandeliers when I manifested this house, but it's like a bonus. I never thought I would like a chandelier, and I love them. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. Like, I really like, they're like black industrial, like, natural kind, like, but older, they're like totally my vibe, and a big barn door. And it's like natural and I love baths. I've got a big corner
Love that.
bath. It's like, yes, I know.
Yeah.
Natural romantic. Good.
Yes, style wise, they will be drawn to pink and red and florals and everything very feminine and sexy and sensual and lace and polka dots. And then frills, just very, 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 very girly, very feminine, very girly. They'll be drawn to definitely high-heeled shoes, fabrics like satin, anything shiny. They're magpies, shiny bling, big diamonds, heart-shaped jewelry. Like, yeah. And if you're thinking, yeah, if there's an animal in there, it'll be, like a Persian cat or some little toy dog. Oh, I neglected to talk about the animals for the natural, and the naturals love animals, and they'll have like animals all over and dogs and everything.
My
Okay.
first dog is a big fluffy, like a little fluffy dog, like a lap dog, Japanese Spitz. And then we got here and we rescued three. So three others. So now we've got four dogs. So definitely romantic, natural.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. And so when you know this again, so you know this about yourself, and you know, like, why am I wasting time in this soul-sucking job? I need to be, doing something that really makes me happy. And clothing wise too, clothing wise, the wiggle dresses and the frills and the florals. Like, I have made the mistake of buying florals, and I will wear a couple of times and it's like I can't look at this anymore. It's just not me. I love it on others. I adore florals on others. I can't wear them.
I think I don't have many florals. So when it comes to the style, it's interesting. Like polka dots, maybe lace but these are all things that I think I can try, right? Like I haven't ventured into those kind of things. And florals, there's a favorite one, or like a romper, so comfy, and it's floral. And I actually really dig it. But other than that, I don't have any florals. But so it's interesting because like I'm learning about things that I could maybe
You
look for and try out.
Definitely. But again, I think your core is natural. So this will just be elements of the romantic, like that red lipstick that you're wearing right now. That is super romantic. There's no way you're going to find a natural in that. That is super romantic. And you mentioned the heels that you wore. I don't think that was outside of your style personality when you were younger. I think that was still very much you. But then if this philosophy is correct, then there will be something inside of you that's fighting because you want to be comfortable, but you love the heels. So
But this is what I'm saying. I'm fine. I love having like frameworks and philosophies and like like archetypes, right? Like there's like an archetype. I love having these kinds of things because I do find it so helpful. It helps us make sense of things and it helps us like organize it in our brain. And it's like, okay, makes sense now. I'm a natural, but I'm also a bit romantic. Now I get it. Why do I like comfy stuff and heels? That doesn't make sense. I don't want to wear my heels because they're not comfortable because they're all like 8-inch heels. So I'm trying to find the heels that are comfortable because I'm the natural like so it makes more sense.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we've covered the four primary style
Yes.
personalities, and then there are two more that are more rare. And these are both sort of leader type people. So we have the aristocratic and we have the dramatic. The aristocratic is the person, as the name, connotes, will be like somebody who, as the aristocrats, would be in charge of estates, and they would have people under them that they would care for. Let's put it nicely and say that they would care for the people who were under them. They were at least supposed to. And so these people nowadays, they tend to be leaders. These are the people that you go to if you're in trouble. You have this friend, that they can perhaps help you out because maybe they have the power, maybe they have the money. They certainly care. And so these are people who care about others. They have a sense of responsibility towards others, towards their environment, towards their families. And these are people who value education and they do, and they have such a sense of responsibility that they realize that they have power because they've risen to a certain station in life, because maybe they're the head of a hospital, or maybe they're a judge or whatever, some some level of responsibility. And so they realize that. And so they want to also help the people who are under them. And these are people that you're naturally, you're drawn to in times of trouble. You'll go to these people, you know that you can trust them. So their ideal home would be like an aristocratic estate with big library and antique furniture that's been handed down from generation to generation. And they also really value that, their family history and being able also to pass on a legacy. And these are people who value things that are handmade. So style wise, if it's like a handmade sweater or jumper, and they will wear it to death. So that whole Ralph Lauren aesthetic of a blazer, like a houndstooth blazer that has patches. The patches comes from that idea that they've worn it to death. There are holes in the elbows, and so they patched it up. That is like the quintessential aristocratic, and it fits like the Ralph Lauren aesthetic, and it fits that idea that they're willing to pay. They want high end, they want high quality. Sorry, not necessarily high end, but they want high quality. They're willing to pay for it, and they're going to wear it to death. And so they'll patch it up if they need to. And so if you think of the aesthetic of the aristocratic, it's very much Ralph Lauren, and horses and dogs and stables and horse bit in there, also like that's very Gucci, but like horse bit, if we're talking about accessories, things that can be worn and can be worn to death. So whatever they wear needs to be suited to their task. Whatever they have, they're going to muck out the stalls, or they're going to do whatever they're going to do. Their outfit needs to be up to it. And the aristocratic women tend to be a little bit more masculine in their style, and they just tend to be like, strong women. And so in their style, these are typically not women that you're going to be finding in, high heels and in pantyhose, because they want to be comfortable. Whatever it is that they have to do, they're going to be dressed to be able to go do it. So these are women who will find themselves at the head of an organization, head of a company. And so they will. So again, we're talking quality, like houndstooth and
checkers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Checked and yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And plaid. And if they're wearing jewelry, it'll be jewelry that's been passed down from generation to generation. Maybe pearls, and not typically people who will buy a lot. They will, but they'll buy quality, and they'll happily pay for it and then expect it to last. So wool and high quality things, not cheap stuff. They tend not to buy stuff like more fast fashion stuff that the rest of us might put up with because we like the look. And again, I don't think there are there aren't a lot of leaders in the world, but this is one type. And then there's another type of person who's perhaps a leader, perhaps not. There are the dramatic style.
Mm-hmm.
Dramatic style personality is somebody who wants power and prestige and money, and will go out and they'll make the money, and they want to be with the powerful people. And so this might be somebody, again, perhaps the head of a company, able to hobnob with the rich and famous. Perhaps it's somebody who goes to pursue a career in acting or modeling and will make it to the top, high end, like, real estate developers or whatever. And so what they value is they value all that glamorous lifestyle and the finer things in life and luxury. So like private planes and high-end everything and caviar and luxury, everything luxury. So if they can high-end cars, a loft in the city that is more like decorated in a minimalistic avant-garde way, they won't have very much in the fridge at all. If they, it'll be like, I don't know, some camembert, some crackers, some champagne, some ice cream. They're used to eating out, and so again, these are people who are, there are not a lot of these people in the world. And then their style. So their style will be a lot of solids, a lot of black or bright colors, a lot of monochromatic, animal prints for sure. And if they do, they don't do a ton of accessories, but if they do accessories, it'll be like one big massive piece or a few big massive pieces
Like
and all
statement pieces.
statement pieces, and then the logos, like, all the big luxury brand logos. And yeah, so these are people who, this is what they value. They go out, they make the money, and they spend it. And why not? If this is them and they're trendsetters, and this is something that, if this is authentically them, yalla, go for it. You do you, baby.
I love it. I do feel that there is bits of overlap here and there. And so I don't, but I think that just knowing these and having these like there for you, I hope everyone took notes. If not, go back and take notes and figure out which one you are. But I think I do find it really helpful, right? Because I think that at least if you're someone like me, like we really driven to know who we are and like our authentic selves and like who we meant to be. And we waste so much time sometimes like thinking about how we want to put ourselves out there and what does it look like and what do others think about us, blah, 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 blah. And I really do feel that there comes a point where you're like, I just don't want to give a fuck anymore what anyone else thinks about me. I just want to be me, and I want to know who that is, and I want to figure that out. And then the style piece does come into it. And so thank you for sharing. Is there, before we wrap up, is there one thing you would recommend as a tip to help? Is there a tip that you can give us that we can just implement straight away?
Yes, since I've been speaking about the style personalities, and you said just how hard it is for us to know who we are. For the person who's just listened to this and is wondering and thinking, what am I? I feel I'm a little bit of this, perhaps a little bit of that. This spoke to me, that spoke to me. Would I really, if you're ready, you're thinking, what am I? Who am I? I'm going to just tell you the easiest thing for you to do right now. And that is, go to Pinterest. If you find that you've been a little bit inspired, this has sparked something inside of you and you're thinking, who am I? What am I? What do I love? And back to what you said, Emily, because you said, like, what do I like? Go to Pinterest and just start searching. If there is something that you know that you like, you've seen something that there's a friend of yours and you love her style, just start putting in words of a style or a style element, or like, puffy sleeves or whatever it is, glamorous style, red lipstick, I don't know, whatever could possibly cross your mind. Just start to search Pinterest and put together a Pinterest board. And you will find inspiration there. You will start to learn more about yourself just in doing this simple work of putting together your own Pinterest board. Just pin stuff. And then once you've pinned enough things, go over your board and see, do you really love this? If you don't really love this, remove it. But if you really love it, keep it. And then analyze, what is it that you love about this? You're going to see that you've pinned a lot of things. You might have pinned the same photo time after time. And you're going to see that there are things that repeat themselves. And so I've had clients do this and say, I never realized how much I love the color yellow. A client who pins a lot of ball gowns, and she's like, am I doing this right? And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. You're not going to wear the ball gowns, but pin them. And we're going to see what elements of these ball gowns we can incorporate into your daily life. And so we looked for satin. We found a beautiful satin kimono for her to wear, white jeans and a white tank and her satin kimono. And she loved sequins. And, we were looking for that too. So if you've been inspired right now, go to Pinterest and just start to pin stuff and see what you love and see what it sparks inside of you.
I love that.
That's what I wanted. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I do love that. I do also I wanted to ask you, right, about this as well, like specifically this task, for example. Is there, like, sometimes I'd see something that I really like, but I don't know if it would suit me. Like, as in, like, you might love the color yellow, but what if yellow is just not a color for you? Like, it just really, like, no, no. Not that yellow, I think, is a bad color for anyone, really, but you get my drift. Like, what if,
Yes.
like, I'm attracted or like magnetized to a certain style, but it's not me. Let's say, for example, I really love, I admire the creatives, right? So my Pinterest might be full of creatives, but I might not be a creative style?
Then you find a way to do it in a way that is you. Take whatever element of it that you really love. What is it about it? Is it the flowiness? Is it the pattern? Is it the beads? Is it it's like, what is it? And see what you can incorporate in a way that is you. For me, there are also certain things that I just have to say, I love that. I'm never going to feel comfortable in it. I just can't. I do love the flowy bohemian shapeless dresses that look like a tent. I have a friend who dresses like that. It is so her. She also wears a hat, and she's religious, and she wears a hat, and it just looks wide brim hat. It looks so perfect. I love it. I cannot wear it. I cannot. I've bought these things and it's just been a waste of money. I can't wear it. I feel like I can't. So there's that too. So what would I say? I would say, for one thing, also, you did mention the color. If it's a color that you do not look good in, then don't wear it on your face, but wear it in an accessory, wear it in a bangle, wear it, in a purse or whatever. But experiment, in Israel, it's a little bit annoying because you buy something, you have to return it within 2 days if you want to get your money back. It's such a pain in the neck. But experiment, try stuff and return it if it doesn't work for you.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you, Jennifer. You're amazing. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your time with us today. Big thank you to everyone listening in. I hope you found our conversation as inspiring and empowering and awesome as I did. Learning about the connection between personality and style. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your favorite platform. Your support really helps me reach more listeners and have a greater impact. I'd also love to hear from you. I'm sure Jennifer would too. What was your biggest takeaway from today? What really, really landed for you, or created a little aha moment? I'd love to hear those things. And you can reach Jennifer on any of her links below. I'm putting them in all of the descriptions anywhere that you find this.
I'd like to add something if that's possible.
Yes, go.
Okay, so I am going to be launching a style membership. This is for people who perhaps are not ready to invest the relatively large investment of working with a personal stylist, and it would be working with me, but much more low key, and getting to hear style masterclasses and have style challenges and be part of a community of women who are looking to elevate their style, but do it on their own time and a little bit more slowly, but still getting there. So that's something that I'm going to be launching soon. And
it is already launched if you're listening to this whenever down the line.
So all the information will be on my website, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'm always happy to talk to people. I love what I do. I love people. I love style and talking about this. So feel free to reach out.
Yes. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, so stay curious, stay informed, and stay tuned for more episodes coming your way. Jennifer, thank you again. Lots of love to everybody.